Good morning, folks. After today's current conditions, you'll see a summary of the top news points so you can know the takeaways. The sun's non-Earth directed eruptions continued, with CMEs ejecting left and right here from Earth's vantage point, and while some flares took place on the disk, none were producing ejecta. You can see the flashes in 131 angstroms of light here, and then when we switch to 211 angstroms, we can see that the surface and coronal surges were about all we got. The big coronal holes are departing, and the end of the quake watch is in sight. We'll come back to that. First, let's jump over to spaceweathernews.com and find the Earth-facing solar quiet has acted like a wall, and the days-long increasing flare progression may have met an immovable object. Let's come to the sunspots. Look at the right side and recognize how much that grouping has developed in just the last 2 days, from virtually nothing to having a complex structure with mixing magnetism. Flare potential rising there, but it's also leaving our view. The big one coming in would have been producing X-class flares if this was 2011 or any previous solar cycle. As it is, M flares are rare despite the existence of delta-class magnetism between enormous bunches of like polarity umbras. The incoming spots are gaining a measure of stability, while the largest surges came from the now departing sunspots. Right now, the solar wind looks pretty stable, but up in blue you see a phi angle shift, heralding the approach of the coronal hole solar wind stream. Impact is expected within the next day, and geomagnetic storms should follow. Track everything over at spaceweathernews.com. Our usual location uptick continued, with California and Arizona taking a couple very rare tremors. We also saw above average rumbles in Chile, in Taiwan, with both of those hitting 6 on some readers, and we are having a swarm in Alaska. Now 4 of these 5-pointers just this morning. Hopefully they're not foreshocks. Does anyone remember when we reported the notion that a 5th giant planet was once ejected from our solar system? Well, the University of Toronto has now picked up the SWRI idea and convincingly proffered the existence of that planet, leaving the main question to be whether or not it was Jupiter who banished him. Amazing news. In other news, an explosion at a nuclear power plant in Belgium allegedly is no threat to the public. Okay? They claim all fuel had been removed due to a lapsed operational license, which makes me wonder what exploded and what was happening there to make it explode. I've been mentioning this for days, but folks, here we are. The strongest storm to ever reach these waters has weakened now a bit, but has also reached the coastline. Website members over at suspiciousobservers.org, your November predictions based on planetary geometry are posted to the Deeper Look section, and don't forget to catch Fly on the Wall from this past weekend. Also, all of your support on the new book is greatly appreciated. It is available by clicking the image of it on all of our websites or at the link you've got here on this page. Just a digital copy available now, but the hard copies will be in print this week. Thank you all once again. We've got pressure and radar in our top viewer locations, followed by South Pole view of the current conditions and shots of our star to close. It's 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Eyes open. No fear. Be safe, everyone.